I don't care if there's 40-something seconds left. We're starting now. Hello, guys. Hello. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. What's up, Clara? Hey, Laura. Hey, Aaron. How are you guys doing today? Happy Monday. Oh, been a long weekend. Finishing up your Halloween shopping? Heck yeah. Hey, Bree. Hey, Nikki. Good morning. Hello, Laura. Over here, too. Happy Monday. Happy as any day is right now. Giving out ramen, apples. I've seen quite a few people doing the ramen giving out on Halloween lately. That's been the new thing. Hey, Jeremiah. I've seen multiple people doing that. Morning, Courtney. Hey, Linda. How was everyone's weekend? We had a fall festival yesterday that I played at, which was a lot of fun. Seeing a bunch of pretty cool costumes, people just playing games and hanging out, listening to music. Only killer was it looked like it was going to rain like the entire day, which was kind of brutal. Took kids to a trunk or treat. Nice. It's yeah. No, I hear you, Aaron. I understand exactly why it's popular right now. But like kids are picking it, which is also crazy. But there's money to pay it out. This is ridiculous. Of course it's ridiculous. I was watching a video today, and we'll talk about it more later. There's just aren't a ton of people on right now. Talking about how the Republican Party actually isn't the conservative party, or isn't a conservative party. Like, they aren't conservative, at least in the government. Hey, Amanda. There's a guy who gives kids free money at his gas station for good grades. Most of them pick up eggs and milk. Shocker. It's crazy. Hey, Ghost. Good morning. They'll get both from me and not have to choose between a treat or a potential meal. That's awesome, Aaron. More power to you. We probably need more people to do that. And my back is hurting more, so that's fun. Probably because I was picking up things that I shouldn't have picked up yesterday. Because I am. Hey, Summer. Picking up speakers and stuff. Because I'm stubborn. Nope. It's not a clean bill, B. It's not the exact same as the one they voted on in the spring. But thanks for playing. There are things that aren't being funded anymore that were. So here we go. Yep. Well, it's been about 5 minutes, so that's when it happens. exactly. Nope. Is PBS being funded anymore? Then it's not the same. If USAID is not being funded anymore, then it's not the same. It's not the same. Hey, Angel. Our brains still think we're 20, but our bodies think they're 90. I've just always been that way. Even when I was younger, I would hurt something and I'd just keep working and make it worse for a while, which would then force me to like really rest, and then it would finally get better. I don't like not moving. I don't like not doing things. I never have. They've worked 20 days. Yeah, 20 days in the last 4+ months now. Super frustrating when your body limits you. Yup. It rained all weekend here. Still is actually. Yeah, it's like spitting here this morning. I guess it's supposed to get worse later. I wish I had the room to stockpile food. My mom fills her basement. Thank you, Lex. Guys, if you're over on TikTok, please consider tapping that nose. The faster we can get those like numbers and the shares, and if you do things like the heart me's, it helps push the live out to people. Finally, it definitely feels like fall, which is nice. Appreciate it, Amy. Where's the music today? So, Lex, I'm live here and on the tube at the same time, and they don't like music. They, yeah, they don't like music. So, no, they're cutting PBS right now. They're already not funding it. It's the same name. It's the same name, Lex, with the same image. Well, user blah blah blah. Maybe you should tell Mike Johnson to open the house up so they can start negotiating. Okay, normal dad. Ah! That's not what people are saying. Wait, what? The GOP have been saying it's the exact same bill that the Democrats agreed to in the spring. That is what the Republicans in the House and Senate are saying. Need to use your glutes more effectively? Probably true. Listening in the background right now, by the way, a stockpile a little bit every week in a small area. That's good, Claire. Probably wise. Meaning funding the government at... No, it's different. They're saying that the CR that they're wanting to sign now is the exact same as it was in March. It's not. You can say that you want them to sign a CR, but don't say it's clean when it's not. Don't say it's clean compared to the one that they signed in March. It's not. That's simple. It's not clean. So, grow up. That is not what the Republicans in the House and Senate are saying. Like you keep putting words in their mouth when they are not saying that what you are saying. Good morning, Sherry. It's 51 here. The love. Yeah. Yeah, it's nice, Amy. Guys, if you're over on TikTok, please consider tapping that nose. It helps push it out to other people. It's the only way the algorithm knows to show it to other people. That's clean. No, it's clean to me. It doesn't matter what you think clean is. I'm talking about what the people in the House and Senate are saying is clean. They are saying clean is the exact same thing that the Democrats approved, voted on, and passed in the spring. It's not. Good morning, Jill. It doesn't matter what you think. You're calling it clean when the people that are trying to get the bill signed are saying that what they mean by clean is different. No, you're tomatoing. You're just ignoring what the people in charge of our government are saying. The ones who are in the majority that aren't doing their job. You're right. No bill is, there can be clean CRs. Sure. If the things that were funded in the CR that they put forth were the exact same as the one that was signed before, like they said, then it would be clean. Just say it's a CR. That's fine. You can want them to sign the continuing resolution as it is. That's fine. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying be honest about what it is. That's all I'm saying, is be honest about what it is. Laura. Hi, Anne. Mechanically? Okay. You can argue it all you want. Wait, what books? You can argue it all you want. I'm going by what the GOP, that are the ones in charge of the House and the Senate, are saying. You're not in the government. You're not trying to get people to pass things. You can renegotiate the realities all you want. The House, the Speaker of the House, said that the bill they are signing is exactly the same as the one they signed in the spring. It's not. It's changed. It doesn't do exactly the same thing. PBS is no longer funded. USAID is no longer funded. It's not clean. Multiple other things are no longer funded. It's not the same. Again, wait, what? You're sitting here going by what you are looking at it as. I'm going at it by what the Speaker of the House said on camera to everyone. Angel. What's up, Steffi? That's not in question here, Susan. You guys aren't understanding it. Yeah, I did bring it up. The question is whether or not it is a clean CR compared to the one that the Democrats helped pass in the spring, which is what the Republicans are saying the current one is. And I'm saying it's not a clean CR because things have changed. That's what I'm saying. That's what this conversation is about. I'm not part of the Democratic Party, Adeline. It's not the exact same wording. Things aren't being funded that were being funded. So it's not exactly the same. Guys, if you're ever on TikTok, please tap that nose. Push this out to other people. Seriously. Jody, release those e-files. This is the reason why the government was shut down. Probably true. Brother? I'm not your brother. Do I agree with Josh Hawley? His perspective. What's his perspective? Today, something's funded. Tomorrow, it isn't. I mean, that's not always true. You're right. A new administration. Well, no, the administration can't. Congress can. The Congress is the one in charge. Scott. No argument there. $60 vote. You're right. 60 votes. The 60 vote filibuster is a Senate thing. And the Senate can get rid of it all they want. There's a reason that the Senate has never gotten rid of the filibuster. They want it there. Both sides want the filibuster. There is a reason that the filibuster is not being gotten rid of, even though they could. Because it gives the minority party the ability to have a say in things like budget. So when the Republicans are the minority, they get a say. They have to be negotiated with. It forces negotiation. Thought Democrats believed in democracy. They're voting. That is democracy. Putting certain democracy doesn't always mean simple majority. Both sides have gone nuclear before. They've gone nuclear on very specific things, such as judges, but they've never done it for budget. Not since the filibuster existed. No, they haven't. Something needs to give soon. The GOP need to do their job. Wait, what? Founders didn't put cloture in the They put, what they did put is the ability of the Senate and the House to make their own rules on things. They have that ability. I don't know. It was 250 years ago. The world was different. Why do you guys want to live 250 years ago? Like, it is the law. Yeah. And you know, a lot of things didn't exist 250 years ago that exist now. Nobody you know is seeing prices go up. Okay. Where am I getting my information? From the health insurance companies that are sending out their new premiums. You're right. And it was 2.3% earlier this year. You know what, Checkin', I'm okay with that. Dresses did not have pockets 250 years ago. Seriously. What's up, buddy?
Well, I promise not to repeat any of my comments on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know I can't hear. Let's just say that the misinformation is flying in the comments today.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, a couple of things. According to the Kaiser Foundation, which is the Bible of healthcare, the average price on the ACA will increase 100% this year. Now, 22 states have already released their healthcare because they do their own exchanges. In the great state of Maine, somebody making $130,000 of income, these are all families of four, by the way, will be paying an increase of $16,100 a year. In Kentucky, a family making $85,000 a year will see an increase of $23,700. These statistics all come from the states themselves. Nevada, $85K, will see an increase of $18,100. Minnesota, $85,000 in income, will see an increase of $15,500. The state of Maryland, $85,000 income, will see an increase of $13,700. That's what the Democrats are fighting for, and it is worth noting by a 3-to-1 margin, healthcare subsidies under the ACA flow to red states. The Democrats are actually, in their fight to maintain the subsidies, would actually benefit red states more than blue states.
And again, nobody is arguing that there are issues with our healthcare system, the health insurance system, the healthcare system. No one's arguing that. The argument here is you aren't fixing the healthcare system by causing millions of people to pay more, by causing millions of people to lose their healthcare because they can't afford it at all, by causing people to lose their lives because of these actions. That's not fixing the healthcare system. Call for fixing of the healthcare system. Call for our administration to actually do something that will fix the cost of our healthcare. I'm okay with that. In fact, I am for it. Sorry, I didn't actually see that you came in because your image still isn't showing
I
it.
asked if I was a ghost still, and apparently I am. I don't know why that keeps happening. And it's only on your live.
Should we call you Casper?
Mm,
A new nickname.
there you go.
Yes.
I just want to reaffirm I think this is probably the biggest misconception about the ACA as well, is that the ACA caused your premiums to go up. The ACA, when you look back over the last, even like say 30 years, the ACA actually slowed the rate of premium increases. Premiums have been increasing well before the ACA came out. And that rate was higher before. It had a little bit of an uptick in, I think, the first 2 years, 2008, 2009, 2010, when it was implemented, a slight uptick. And that was due to millions of people who had preconditions joining the healthcare system. After that, the rate was slowed. So this misconception that ACA increased your premiums is completely false.
Well, moreover, you're exactly correct. And moreover, there is a misconception in what, quote, Obamacare, which is the ACA, is. It sets up a marketplace. There is no government insurance program. It is a marketplace where you buy private insurance. And because there are so many numbers buying Aetna or Blue Cross Blue Shield or United Healthcare, they get a lower rate. That is the purpose of it. And then for lower income people, they provide subsidies, which is precisely what this fight is all about now.
Yep, which is precisely why the top 10 rate increases that will be seen are all in the poorest red states. There are many factors that come into this. Most of it is due to low income, poverty, and high poverty rates. And that feeds into a very sick population, which tends to feed into an more elderly population, which also is not offset by when, say, you have blue states who also help with expanding Medicaid, because many poor red states, have chosen not to expand Medicaid. And then you have blue states that offer their own state subsidies into the healthcare marketplace, and red states do not.
And I still want to put out, the Republicans, the House has been open for 20 days out of the last 4 months, all of which they could have been negotiating to pass a budget, let alone a continuing resolution, which they didn't. Why do you guys think that we need to open the government before negotiations can happen? They should have been having negotiations for the last 30 days to pass something. They're still getting paid. We're paying them to not work. The time for negotiation is never over. That's literally what the government is set up to do. It's required. That's why the filibuster exists. Unless we live in a planet where everybody thinks exactly the same way, there will always be a need for negotiation. I know there's a bunch of people that are tired of it, that don't like it, but that's called reality. We're a country of 330 million people, and we don't all agree on everything.
The reality of public healthcare is that we run pretty much, we have a public healthcare system, a government-funded healthcare system in Medicare. Republicans support that. They support Social Security. Everybody supports that once you get to a certain age. But for some reason, we don't support it when it would make sense, more sense, when you have a healthier, younger pool of people into the mix. And now we do private. We've been doing private forever, and we are failing miserably. We fail when we compare it. Everybody loves to compare it against Canada. We still rank lower than Canada in results.
Why didn't the Democrats extend the ACA last year? Again, do you guys understand how our government works? They would need 60 votes in order to extend anything because of the filibuster.
It is incumbent when you have a filibuster, which are part of the Senate rules. You may agree with the filibuster, you may not agree with the filibuster, but it's part of the Senate rules. Therefore, unless one party has 60 senators, which we haven't had in a long time, unless one party has 60 senators, you have to negotiate. You need votes from the other side, so you have to negotiate. The Republicans did not negotiate before the shutdown.
And again, in the last 30 years, there have been 7 government shutdowns. 6 out of those 7 were with Republican-run House and Senate.
Yeah,
they had full control of Congress.
I saw that, and that's insane. The only time that we have had a shutdown where it's been not completely Republican controlled House and Senate has been the 16 days in 2013.
Which means when the Democrats have full control, they have reached across the aisle and negotiated every single time with the minority party.
The only time that did not happen in the last 30 years was when the Democrats had a filibuster-proof majority in 2008 and passed Obamacare. That's it.
You know, this is almost amusing. I just saw a comment. There have been 12 votes to keep the government open. The Democrats have voted it down all 12 times. Folks, they need Democratic votes to keep it open because of the filibuster, which is something Mike has now repeated in the first hour of his thing, about 7,542 times by my count. You have to negotiate. The Republicans keep throwing up the same thing and keep refusing to negotiate with the Democrats. Well, when you need 7 of their votes, it is incumbent upon you to negotiate, just like the Democrats did when they needed Republican votes when they held the Senate.
Correct.
That's the nature of governance. What part of that don't you people understand?
It's exactly why a Republican Senate has never gotten rid of the filibuster when it comes to the budget, when it comes to budgetary things. We've talked about it, that they have gotten rid of it for things like judge voting. They've gotten rid of the filibuster.
User blah, blah, blah states that the Democratic demands are insane. Well, let's take a look at what the Democrats are demanding. They're demanding that the subsidies be kept exactly the way they are now. Not any higher, not any lower. They are demanding that the subsidies that are in place maintain in place. That is their only demand, user blah, blah, blah. So please explain to me how that is insane.
Again, the reason the filibuster exists is it gives the minority it gives the requirement for the majority most of the time, 99.9% of the time, the requirement to negotiate with the minority to get their votes. That's why. Obamacare is not a healthcare system. Obamacare is a marketplace. You want a new healthcare system? So do I. So does everyone on this panel. So does
we would love it.
Everyone. Stop trying to cause people to lose their health care or lose all money they have, and get your state senators and congressmen to actually put forth a new healthcare system.
Why are Republicans in the House not in DC working on what they say they will do if the government is open? If the government is open, we will negotiate. Why are you not there negotiating right now? That's your job.
A twinkling of a concept of a plan. Yeah, Vonda. By the way, everyone that's over here, just so you know, I'm live here and on the tube at the exact same time. I'm trying to grow over there because we don't know what's going to happen with this app, especially when it comes to the kind of content that we're doing here. You also don't have to worry about stuff getting filtered over there. It's a great group of people. I put out content every Tuesday and Thursday, so there'll be a new one coming out tomorrow. It's a lot of good stuff. We talk to a lot of different people. It's not just politics. We also talk to small business owners, musicians, a bunch of different people. So check out over there.
Again,
Scott, when does the marketplace open?
The marketplace is a 50-state marketplace. 22 states have their own marketplace. They run it themselves, which is their right. And they have already sent out the new premiums, which are causing a massive shock. But the 28 states, almost all of whom are red, will be released this Saturday, the 1st of November. And boy, are they in for a big surprise. And which states dip into the subsidies the most?
My state.
Here's your answer. Number 1 by far, the state of Florida. Number 2, Texas. Number 3, Georgia. Number 4, Utah. Number 5, South Carolina. Number 6, Mississippi. Number 7, North Carolina. Number 8, Tennessee. Number 9, Nebraska. And number 10, Louisiana. Now, what do those states all have in common? Any guesses? They're all red states. Folks, you are screaming how the Dems are trying to ruin you. They're trying to save your health care. More than their own too, but by a 3-to-1 margin, your health care subsidies. And they are not asking for an increase in subsidies. They're asking that everything be kept the same.
And again, if you're looking at the bill, the quote-unquote bill that they put forth in reaction to what the Republicans put forth, that's how negotiations work. Again, every time, this is like negotiation 101. One person puts forth what they want. The other side puts forth what they want, both knowing they're not going to get what they want. And then they negotiate for something in between, and it leans one way or another depending on who has more sway in that case. That's how a negotiation works.
Joe, tell me a city that's red. Tell me any large city that's red.
What does that have to do with anything? Where do you think Medicaid goes, Joe? Who do you think is the largest recipient of Medicaid, which is a different subject?
Rural
America.
Rural America
cities rural.
Uses uses. Oh my gosh.
And Scott was on here another day saying it, and I agree with you, Scott. I do think that one of the biggest plans is to hold this shutdown standoff out until red states start seeing their marketplace costs.
November 1st. That's when the marketplace opens in the other 26 states. Some of them, usually the federal government this week, like either today or tomorrow, will give you a peek look. I don't think that Trump will allow that peek look, but on November 1st is when you can start signing up for your 2026 plans, and the ACA opens up the marketplace for all on November 1st, and people are going to be in for a very big surprise.
So I want to say these things quick. So again, if you're over here on TikTok, please tap that nose. It helps push it out to other people. Share it. Join the team. All those things help push this live out to people. Just so you know, I'm live here and over on the tube. For those of you that want to go over there, because you don't have to worry about getting filtered. It's the same name, same image. We're trying to get as many people as we can over there to watch, because we're trying to grow over there, because we don't know what's going to happen over here. So it's a great group of people, and you technically, especially if you're watching on a computer, can see what is being said on both sides. It gets a little harder when it's on a phone, and unfortunately there's not much I can do about that right now.
And I just want to state from a previous comment, I'm not on Team Red or Team Blue. I'm on whatever team, quote unquote team, is going to have the best policies to benefit the most amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
If Donald Trump's administration or the House GOP or Senate came out with a bill or a policy that was good for the American people, I would be supportive of it. But
they're not.
You tell me a policy that they have that benefits the American people.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen one yet.
I vote, I support, I stand up for people that believe in my fundamentals. Is that all people deserve rights, respect, dignity, and safety, no matter your race, religion, gender, or identity. I don't care what team you are on. I don't care. Literally don't care. Right now, does that mean I am supporting the Democrats? Sure.
I don't always support them.
But if you're looking at my entire voting career, I have voted for more Republicans. And that was unfortunately before I realized how I was doing things incorrectly. I've been an independent my entire life. In terms of big cop-out, no. Reality.
So I live in West Virginia. I live in arguably the reddest, oldest, sickest, most uneducated, and most needy state in the entire USA. We fight Mississippi for the bottom. I want the best for the people in my state.
You need to move? Come on.
And it's hard. I've thought about it often. It is extremely difficult to be a blue dot in a sea of red.
How do you expect to fix things if the response is, that's like saying you don't like this country, then leave? I mean, yeah, if for some people, moving is the needed and right option. I'm not going to argue that. But how about people just actually stand up and fight for what's right? Wherever you live.
I'm very privileged to live in probably the only purple dot in the entire state. And that's probably the only reason why I am still here. Because I do have children and I want what's best for them as well.
And by the way, the statement of just leave if you don't like it is ridiculous, because if that were the case, then all y'all who are against were against Biden should have left, and you didn't. Because again, that's not how it works. Not only can not everyone financially afford to leave, because it costs money to leave, but it's just, that's not how living in a society works. Like, we as a society should be working together as a whole to make a better society. We need to have conversations. We need to have hard conversations. We choose not to. We choose to come in here and just tell people they're stupid because you disagree with them.
If somebody who is a Republican and still supports MAGA is in the comments and you feel like there is a policy that legitimately helps and benefits people, put it in the comment and we can talk about it.
Whose opinion of what's right, though? You mean whose opinion of what's right is right, though? That's what discussions are for. And sometimes you won't ever come to an agreement on it. That's why the goal is to agree on fundamentals before you have discussions. You can't agree on fundamentals. Why does she keep saying policy? Because that's
Politics?
they have policies that they get passed. It's about fundamental. No, fundamentals is us. Policy is our government. When you're talking about a government, and you're talking about a politician and what they're running on, you choose who to vote for based on your fundamentals and what policies they are trying to pass, and whether those align or not. Please tell us what this government is doing to benefit you. Besides race, I mean, do you think I support this government? I'm confused on the question. I don't think this government is doing anything to benefit anybody except for super wealthy people.
I believe that was aimed at the MAGA supporters.
Oh, guys, if you're talking to someone specific, please at them. If you don't put an at on it, I assume you're talking to me. Release what files? The files of the very close friend of the current president of the United States.
The reason why we have over 800,000 people in Arizona not represented right now.
Yep, the 7th District of Arizona has no representation. And the excuse that while Congress isn't in session doesn't fly. The Speaker has the authority to swear in the representative from the 7th District anytime he so chooses.
If those files aren't what we think they are, then why is the current Speaker of the House doing everything he can to prevent them from being released? If they're not what we think they are, then they should just release them. What's holding them back? And even if they aren't what they think, the only people that know what are in those files are the ones that have read them. We're just saying release them so everyone knows.
All the Republicans voted to release the files? I'm seeing that in comment.
No.
That's bizarrely incorrect. I don't know, maybe you live on Pluto or Mars, but here in America, that's ridiculous.
Why did the previous cabinet didn't release them? Because they weren't allowed to. Who didn't allow them? The courts.
The investigation was still active at that time. Jesus Christ. And as such, there was literally nothing to release.
Bill and okay, David. If they're in those files, then they should pay just like anyone else who's in those files.
Exactly. No matter who's in the files, Democrat, Republican, Independent, I don't care who it is. They should all pay a price. Absolutely.
God.
Let's just remember that the only person who is in jail after one of the largest high-profile rings ever busted is a woman. And then she got moved to minimum security by the Trump administration.
It's just on him. Okay. What's your point? We know. We know it's not just American politicians on those files. I don't care. We know there are literally people that are already paying. Listen, they will never let you see them. Okay. Okay. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure what what your point is. Hey, Mandalorian. Yep. Prince Andrew was already paying for it. By the way, everyone that's over here, just so you know, I'm live here and over on the tube. We're trying to grow over there. We're at 31 concurrent viewers. I'd love it if we could get past the 40, maybe even to the 50 mark. There's a lot of good stuff that I post daily over there. And I'm trying to post even more. Doing a lot of work to grow over there. And yeah, any help. You don't have to worry about getting filtered during lives, which is great. Interviewing tons of different people. I'm going to be interviewing someone who wrote a book/workbook on healing through art, healing from tragedy through art, the use of art. That is one of the interviews I'm going to be doing that will be posted soon. So there's a lot of good things. I'm going to be interviewing someone who's a recovering addict and talk about what it's like being an addict and recovering from it. How can any of you listen to him? Do you understand what it means to be a content creator, Kate? Like,
also, Kate, you've been in here for the last hour, so you're
like,
still here listening.
Do you understand what it means to grow as a content creator? Like, not you. Okay, I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say this again out loud. And I don't know how many more times that I need to say this. If you are talking to somebody else about somebody else, you need to put the name in. Because if you don't put the name in, even if you're talking about someone else to everyone else, please put a name in. Because if you don't, I think you're talking about me. There's no way for me to think otherwise.
And unsure if the not you was also saying, are you a content creator? Not you. Like,
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Context is not always passed on through comments.
Hey, Turtle. Thank you. Hey, Broja. Hey, Linda. Yes, make sure you hit the thumbs up if you're over on the tube. That helps as well. It is. I mentioned it a little bit right in the beginning. I was watching a content creator who is a history teacher, and she comes and she puts some really good takes. Oh, I'm sure. I'm not saying she's not friendly. I'm just saying my thing is that people need to at people. Or if they're talking about somebody else, they need to let us know we're talking about somebody else. I need to know. I can't tell. There's no other way I can tell. So She was talking about how conservatives aren't, the Republican Party is not actually a conservative party. If you go by what a conservative party means, they actually, they want to change the government to just a different way.
Well, sure. The last thing you could ever say about the Trump administration is that they're small government. He has expanded the powers of the executive branch astronomically.
Mm-hmm.
That is the antithesis of a small government party.
They are a more authoritarian version of a leftist. They're basically the authoritarian version of a progressive. They want the government and America to change drastically. They just want it to turn into something that's authoritarian, not
Exactly. And by definition, authoritarian government is big government. It interferes with every aspect of American life, which is the opposite of what people like Ronald Reagan talked about.
Yeah, it was actually funny in her video. She is getting it because she doesn't like Reagan at all. She has talked about her disdain for Reagan, and she's like, "How dare you all get me to a point where I'm actually like agreeing with Reagan on something?" I'm sorry, Clara, that I can't read minds over text, especially. It's it's a reality of things. It's a tough reality. Oh, I guess all the trolls have left. You can always tell when the trolls are done with their push.
Well, Mike, trolls don't do so well when you start talking facts, when you start giving them statistics and actual data, and when you tell them how the government actually works, what the rules of the Senate actually are. It bores them because they can't throw out nonsensical statements anymore.
By the way, hi Brits. I'm sorry if I forgot to say.
They don't want to learn anything.
Yeah. For everyone on here, that's why it's important. If you tap that nose, it helps push it out. If you share it, if you join the team, all those things tell TikTok that that it should push it out to more people, and it gets more people into the community.
And just a little small input here. If you are able to, please check in with your local food banks to see what they need. Many are becoming very short, and even if you are not able to donate money, which they can stretch their dollar a lot further, or donate food, they are also looking for volunteers. They're to sort, to stock, to call people. So if you can't donate that, if you're able to donate time, that is also very helpful.
Ed, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, Book's talking about that November 1st deadline when the ACA will release next year's premiums. If I were the Republicans, I would want to wrap this thing up this week.
I think I saw somewhere on that they were starting to get a little nervous, especially in the more rural areas.
Have you seen some of the town halls that have happened over the past couple weeks in red states with Republican? Oh my gosh.
Not the past couple weeks, no.
Woo! They are getting roasted and toasted.
And if I were the Democrats, I'd give them, look, we've asked for only one thing. Frankly, I would have asked for more, but they chose to ask for only one thing. Keep the subsidies exactly as they stand today. That's the only Democratic ask. I would not negotiate with that at all, at least until the first. Let the American people see with their own eyes, when they open up that envelope, when they go on their computer and they go on the marketplace and see what their premium is going to be next year, which is released in 28 states on the first, hang out for one more week. Because don't worry, after that, they're going to coming to you.
My state of West Virginia may not have been on your list, Scott, with, I forget what you said, they use it the most, the marketplace the most, probably in money amounts. But my state of West Virginia is supposed to see the largest increase in the premiums.
Yeah, you were exactly correct before when you said you're exactly right, by the way. The states that are poorer and the states that have not expanded Medicaid are the ones who are going to get hit the worst. The lower income states will be hit the worst because the reason for that is easy. The lower income people get the most subsidies, and with those subsidies being greatly diminished, they're going to see the highest price increases.
Yeah. That's all I can say.
Brits, I feel for you so much. That big battle is coming. The Medicaid issue will be coming up 1 year from now. The Republicans, when they passed the big, beautiful bill, they left the Medicaid and SNAP hurricane until after the midterms. Now, ask yourself one question, folks. If the Republicans thought that it was such a great idea to slash Medicaid and to slash SNAP, why did they put it off until after the midterms? I mean, they think it's a great idea. So why did they put it off until after the midterms?
Will food prices rise? Food prices are already rising. Beef has gone up 20%. Like food prices are already rising. So you're going to see two things that are going to happen, okay? You're either going to see food prices rise or food size or portion sizes shrink.
Well, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, inflation is now running at about 3%. It was 2.3 when Biden left office. And food inflation, groceries, is running about 6.1, 6.2, Mike?
Well, yeah, and supposedly
the rate of inflation.
The 3% doesn't even include food and energy, if I remember correctly.
I think on this last month, both the core inflation and the overall inflation were identical.
Oh, okay.
I think that, which is an anomaly. Normally they're not identical, but for the last month they were. But either way, getting back to your point, food prices are rising at twice the rate of inflation. They're at 6%.
And if you think food prices are going to fall because less people will be buying them, I think you need a reality check. They do not lock up baby formula to allow people to get it for cheaper. They will just throw it out.
And again, we've had conversations about this. So there's some videos that have been going around that have said, that have talked about the supply and demand idea when it comes to groceries, that if SNAP ends, that grocery stores will just lower prices because there won't be, in their mind, there won't be as much demand. So groceries are in most cases do not follow supply and demand because everybody needs to eat. You can't, supply and demand in most cases has to do with the luxury market, with the non-necessity market, or with things where you have a large variety of choices. So the reason housing can still become somewhat covered under supply and demand is because there are a variety of choices that you can go for. Food, not so much. You need food. You need to eat in order to survive. People aren't going to stop buying food just because they're not getting it. They will buy less food, a lot less food, or they'll do things like go to food banks.
And you'll start seeing, certain things be out of stock that you see when there's, like, say, a big snowstorm coming. People will buy up staples that are cheap and that they can get away with.
But and this is the other thing that, again, I don't think most people know about grocery stores. I've worked in multiple grocery stores. Probably 20 years of my life I've worked in grocery stores. The profit margin on a vast majority of a grocery store is almost non-existent. Actually, most of the groceries you buy, grocery stores get at a loss. There are a few places where they make up the money drastically, but most of a grocery store functions at a loss.
And that brings up a huge point for me on my idea of government. Not everything is profitable.
Sure.
Not everything is profitable in a money, like, immediate profit sense. You can say, like, public services are not meant to be necessarily profitable, but they're profitable in the long run in a growing and functioning society. And the part of the government should be there to promote the best public services that we can.
In chat, community member James just got his bill for his family, and his health insurance is going up $2,400 per month. James, you obviously know better than any of us why we're in this fight. And man, I'm praying for you. I hope these subsidies remain intact. $2,400 a month is devastating for anybody. And folks, that's the normal cost. You heard me before go over each of the 10 states that I had data for, and the data comes from the states themselves, not from me. And the numbers are equivalent to what James is talking about.
And you believe him. You know that people have taken pictures of their new premiums on the ACA. Like, we're not making this up. States have said how much they're going to have to raise premiums. Insurance companies have stated how much they're going to raise premiums. You can already go on and look. We've had people go on to the ACA marketplace and start shopping and shown the price difference between 2025 and 2026. It's not being made up.
Well, let me give you the numbers again, Mike. The state of Maine has released their numbers. An average family of four, insurance will go up under the ACA $16,100. That's not a $16,100 premium. That's an increase of $16,100. In Kentucky, a family making $85,000 a year will go up $23,700. Nevada, $85,000 a year income will go up $18,100. Minnesota, $85,000 income will go up $15,500. And in Maryland, $85,000 in income will increase $13,700. These numbers aren't made up. They're coming from the states themselves, folks.
And staggerly, I did not say that grocery stores don't make a profit. I'm saying they don't make as much of a profit on their entire store as people seem to think they do. Pretty much 3 areas, sometimes 4, depending on the store, make up for the vast majority of the loss and then some to make a profit. I'm saying it in the sense of there's this idea that grocery stores can just reduce prices to make up to try and get more people to buy. They can't in general. The reason that they make profit in certain areas has to do with the amount of labor and the amount of rollover. So like the dairy department, the frozen department, those people are always buying that. They're buying it like crazy. It's not something that sits long. And they use a very small amount of labor to make sure that they can use a small amount of labor to keep those areas filled. So the amount of cost, rollover, and labor makes very high profit for those things. Whereas the normal stuff, like buying cans, they're actually often losing money on those things to get people to buy them. It makes up for it. Thanks, Patty.
Well, a comment said, well, the subsidies last through the end of December. Yes, we are talking about for fiscal year 2026. Yes. And you start signing up for that this Saturday, November 1st, and 22 states, the open enrollment has already begun. It's already begun in 22 states. In 28 states, mostly red, it opens up on November 1st. And that is for fiscal year 2026.
I want to say this again here before. If you are over here on TikTok and you're going to stay over here, please consider tapping that nose. It helps push it out. Also share and join the team. All those help the app push it to other people. Know that I am live here and on the tube at the same time. If you want to be on the tube and you don't have to worry about stuff getting filtered, which is great. I'm trying to grow over there too, get to a point where I can monetize. Also know that if I can get to a point where I can monetize over there, which means I can potentially do this for a living, we're gonna have a party. Hopefully before my birthday, which is mid to end of December. And we'll do a party to celebrate not only getting to the point that I am over there, but also celebrating my birthday, which should be fun. But so anyone that's willing to help out, I put out content twice a week, more lately. I'm actually putting together more content than just twice a week. But yeah, I'd appreciate it. When we're at 30 people
in November,
in December.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're about 30 people over there. I'd love to see us get up over 50 because, again, viewing hours of the live help for viewing hours towards monetization. So, but if you're here and you want to stay over on TikTok, I understand. Just please help out by tapping and sharing, things like that.
You know, that was a very good point made before by Books. Folks, if you have any canned goods or pasta or any food lying around in your pantry that you're not going to need anytime soon, please bring it down to your food bank. They can certainly use it. And food banks, unfortunately, have now set up offices or outreach, in airports for people who are working there who are not getting paid, and for government workers who are needing help right now.
A lot of people, it's become a thing this Halloween. People are actually, instead of candy, actually giving ramen out to people. What files? The files of the guy who was best friends with the current president of the United States. Those files. Lentils, grab lentils. They're a great protein. There's a lot of, again, here's the thing. And I appreciate people talking about ways that people can make stuff last. And yes, that's important stuff that we need to do. Here's the overarching issue. here's the overarching issue. We've got people that that are literally okay with the knowledge that others may starve. Like, that's ridiculous. That's insanity to think that there are people that are okay with, just because they think they're lazy, that is an acceptable reason for people to starve. And again, do I think that we as a country need to do a better job finding ways to get people to work, to enjoy work? I think there are lots of things that we as a society can do to run this country better for the betterment of all of us. I think there are tons of ways that we can do it. That being said, the way to fix it is to not starve, especially children. Nobody is gonna starve. Okay. Hey,
Hello. All right. Oh, nobody's going to starve. Nobody's going to starve. That is so interesting. When I was in high school, I was required to do an internship at a Catholic church. And I personally saw literally 3 families slowly starving to death. And this was '02. So if that was a problem, people are going to fucking starve now. Why is this hard for people?
we are gonna take care of ourselves. Look, that's not. There are going to be people in this country that won't have that kind of support system, and saying that we aren't going to, I think, is short-sighted. Again,
You know, pray tell, Twin, you said before Obamacare ruined your insurance. Nobody requires you to purchase your insurance through the Obamacare marketplace. You're always free to buy your insurance anywhere you want. So, how did Obamacare exactly ruin your insurance?
food drives, helping our neighbors is what it will.
It shouldn't take that. It should not come to that point.
Do I think that there will be people that will help out their neighbors? Sure. But yeah, the question is, why are we okay with that?
You know 66, that's a very good question. 66 asks in chat, what happens if food banks run out of food?
Which they are.
Which they already are, 66. Unfortunately, that's exactly right, Mike. They already are. So, folks, if you have some extra food or if you have a little bit of extra cash, anything will help. Please help out at the food banks, or even if you have time to volunteer.
Jay Allen, we had over 70 million people vote for a 34-time convicted felon who is found liable of SA, who has cheated on all of his wives, who had lied over 30,000 times while in office the last time. I don't have faith in this country the way that I used to. I'm sorry, I don't. Need to stop the shutdown then? The Democrats aren't the majority.
Jamie, how do you want to take place in a rational discussion when you say, tell the Democrats to blah, 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 blah? Now, that's just a primal scream. That's not part of a discussion.
I saw a video today of a guy who ran, I don't know what state it was, It's called Ugly. It was called Ugly Potato Day or something like that. Basically, the food that it was a bunch of farms with food that would have gotten thrown away or not been accepted by grocery stores or anything like that because they only want stuff that looks nice. And they said that the amount of people in line literally made them weep. Weep. Just to get some food, just to get some produce. They keep voting no because that's not how a government works. When there is a filibuster and you need votes of someone, you need to negotiate to get those votes. Why should the Democrats vote for something that they had no part in? If the Republicans had a filibuster-proof majority, this wouldn't be an issue because they could pass it themselves. If the Republicans felt so deeply about this, they would use the nuclear option and get rid of the filibuster when it comes to the budget. Why aren't they? Because it's necessary. I love good crises. They bring people together. We're not being brought together. You think I'm being brought together with you? I'm going to be honest. Based on everything you're saying, I want to have probably as little conversation with you as humanly possible because of the way you're talking. That's not bringing people together. People aren't being brought together. Oh, yeah, there's a guy who's teaching people how to dumpster dive. I heard about that.
And by the way, folks, there are elections next week in both New Jersey and Virginia. The entire legislatures and the governor and the executive offices are up for election. It's a full state election. Early voting has begun in both states. So if you do live in Virginia or New Jersey, please go out and vote. In fact, Mike, yesterday was the first time in almost 69 years that I didn't vote on election day. I voted yesterday. I've always liked voting on election day, but I figured I'm getting old. I could have a cold or something. So I voted yesterday, and there were lines. I don't know what that means, but there were lines to vote. I couldn't even get in the polling place. I had to wait in a line outside to get to vote.
Dang, that's awesome. Jay Allen, you're right. Conversation is needed. Discussion is needed. There are a few things that are required to have a real discussion. You need to agree on fundamentals. You need to be willing to be wrong. You need to be willing to listen, and you need to be willing to learn. And I don't believe that from what you've said. So I'm not going to have a conversation with someone who's not willing, who I don't believe is willing to do that or believe that they agree with my fundamentals. You may, but you're gonna have to earn that right to have a discussion. Because I'm not going to talk with people that we can't even agree on fundamentals on. Sorry, not. Oh, yeah. Mike Johnson's press conference every day is... It actually... I know what he thinks it's doing, but it's doing pretty much the opposite. It's showing how scared he is.
Well, did you hear Trump caught on the hot mic talking about Johnson? He said he's taken over the speakership too. He goes, I'm president and I'm the speaker.
Ah.
Talk about neutering Mike Johnson. I didn't think it was possible to neuter Mike Johnson any more than he already is. Well, Trump did it over the weekend.
you can. Not sure you're gonna stick around past it, but you can talk tomorrow. Oh wait, no, never mind. I saw that name. You're not getting to talk here anymore. Goodbye. His actual name, not his display name, was Pure Blood. Brings peace to the world.
Well, Mike, you're good with technology, right?
Uh,
Could you do me a favor?
sure.
Could you make a phone call to India and Pakistan and let them know that it was really Donald Trump who stopped that war? Because they both deny they ever heard a word from him.
Stop spamming user blah blah blah. I'd love to hear what y'all are currently paying for basics, like ground beef. Oh, ground beef is insane. And beef ranchers are going crazy about this whole Argentina thing. Something called a TV? Ah! Let me guess. Fox News, Newsmax. By the way, Fox News has even admitted that they aren't news.
Well, they sort of had to admit that in that lawsuit, too, when they paid $870 million. But never mind.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of Argentina, I've heard two different numbers, and I see them both constantly repeated. Is it 20 billion or 40 billion?
So 20 billion is what is officially been offered, but there was conversation about upping it to 40. I don't know if it got past that, but people were just upset that the offer was even made.
Well, forgive me, maybe I didn't study enough in law school, but doesn't Article 1 of the Constitution say that Congress appropriates that money? So where's the money coming from?
The government just needs to reopen now. Well, then tell the GOP to do their job. Because our current Speaker of the House has only worked 20 days out of the last 4 months. Over 4 months now. I know, Mike McAvoy. It's surprising. Could someone please explain the private jet thing? We paid for a jet. We paid for 2 jets. The current Secretary of Homeland Security decided they needed some new jets to fly around the country in. And we decided to buy them too.
Mike, they're not going to allow her to bring any of her pets on those jets, are they?
I'd be surprised if any of them are still living. Soros? Oh my gosh. Wants a higher field of view. It's crazy. It's crazy. Portation Barbie. Employees can ask for a military. Yeah. Since taxpayers paid for it, women who need to travel for medical should be able to use a jet.
I thought for a minute they were talking about the $400 million jet from Qatar, but they were referring to the 2 jets
Yeah.
that Christy now needs.
Yep. Why does she need 2? So a lot of the jets that have to do with like the president, and obviously now at least this one secretary, I think even the FBI secretary or director, they get 2. So if one is on needs maintenance, there's still another one. Whether or not I agree with that, that's a different story, but for the internet, you know that did happen. Actually, we have someone who lives in a rural area that's a part of this community that got internet thanks to the money that was put towards getting internet to rural areas. Do you understand how long it takes to get money to rural areas?
Yeah, and unfortunately, only a few people actually got it compared to what they wanted to do, and Trump has stopped that. Yet another way he's hurting his own base.
Not one. That's not true. Again, we just told you, Jeff, about someone who lives in a rural area that got it thanks to the money put forth. So what outlet? You don't care. You don't care. We're telling you it's happened. Who reported that? Someone in this community who lives in a rural area. That did not have any high-speed internet until what media outlet? You don't even care about that. If I gave you anything probably other than Fox News or Newsmax, you'd just say it was liberal propaganda. So I don't know why you ask. It's pretty simple. What media outlet?
I don't even understand his question.
He doesn't think that anybody got internet in rural areas.
Well, the money was appropriated, but it takes a while from appropriation to hiring the contractors to getting the internet out to rural America. And when Trump took office, he put a halt to it. He put a halt to getting internet to his own people. That's what he did. So if I were you, Jeff, I wouldn't be bringing the subject up. Rather a sore subject for a lot of people living in rural America who were promised something and it was stopped by Donald Trump.
Goodbye, Jeff. Just goodbye. Maybe next time you should put a picture so we can actually know you're a real person. Type of people that are telling others, yeah. No, that's not how it works.
Democrats stole what money? What, my God, what are you referring to?
They don't even know how this all works. They don't know how their government works. They don't know how money is spent. Getting rid of food stamps, finally. So you like the idea of children starving? Thank you for letting us know what kind of a person you are like. Hercules. I appreciate that.
I'm just wondering what money the Democrats stole. They don't control the White House. They don't control the Senate. They don't control the House. They don't control the federal government. They don't control the Supreme Court. So how are they stealing all this money again?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for the last 2 years of Biden's presidency, they didn't control the House. It's not a clean CR, Toby. Maybe the Republicans should be negotiating now instead of twiddling their thumbs at home, whining. They literally have, the House has worked 20 days over the last 4 months. 20 days over the last 4 months. Democrats, they did not negotiate. They did not try to negotiate. Democrats have never refused to negotiate. The Democrats have been begging to negotiate. Can you explain what makes it not clean? So again, we're not saying it's not a CR. We're not even saying that it's not a continuing resolution from what the budget is at the moment they put forth the CR. My argument is everyone in the government that has been calling this a clean CR is saying that it is clean compared to the budget that the Democrats voted to pass in the spring. It's not. Things like PBS are no longer being funded. USAID is no longer being funded. Many other things are not being funded. Not sitting here saying this is not a discussion about whether or not you agree or disagree with the fact that those things are being funded. That is not the point of this conversation. The point is it's not clean. So stop saying it's clean. See, you guys aren't listening. Stop with these bullshit comments. It's not clean. I'm not talking about you, Robert. I'm talking about all the other people. I appreciate you asking. I'm just responding to the people that are responding to me talking about it.
Yeah, Robert, what makes it not clean is they keep saying, well, they passed it in March. After March, after the month of March, came the big, beautiful bill. That changed a lot of things. That changed the subsidies for the ACA, Medicaid cuts, SNAP cuts, defunding PBS, defunding USAID, and a whole lot of other things. Therefore, it's not a clean CR now like it was in March, because the underlying fiscal policy and budgetary policy of the United States changed with the adaptation under reconciliation of the big, beautiful bill. Okay? So it's a different playing field now. So no matter what you call it, you can't call it a clean CR.
Joe, that's not the point. Listen to the point before you make dumb comments. You can be okay with the CR. You can be okay with what got defunded. That is your right. No matter what I think that makes you as a person. Just don't call it a friggin' clean CR compared to the CR. Don't say the people that come in are like, this is exactly the same thing they voted on in the spring. It's not. It's not the same. Stop saying it's the same. Stop using that as an excuse as to why the Democrats should vote for this. It's not the same, because that's the excuse that the Republicans in Congress have been using for why they should vote for it. It's not clean. That's okay. That's it. You're not okay with SNAP. I'm assuming with them being, you're not okay with them being taken away. I think that's what they mean, guys. I think they just didn't finish the sentence. They have been, keep it closed. So you're okay with people not getting paid but having to work? That seems a little, you're okay with people losing their ability to feed their family? Thank you for letting us know what kind of a person you are.
So after everything we've just said, Batman, why we explained it's not a clean CR, your entire answer is it's a clean CR.
Well, you know what, Joe? That means you don't believe in our fundamentals and you don't get to take part here anymore. So goodbye. Even if it was actually, no, if it was clean, then it would be clean. And I would admit it. Why do you make dumb statements like that? I mean, yeah, I don't like him. I don't care about him. He has nothing to do with the CR. The House and the Senate are the only things that matter in the CR. The fact that it's clean or not doesn't really matter as a whole. I'm just saying, stop making statements that are lies. Stop promoting the fact that the Speaker of the House is lying. Stop promoting the fact that Republicans in the House and the Senate are lying. Stop being okay with lying. That's why they keep doing it. The fact that you are unwilling to hold your own accountable is why they are doing it. The fact that your desire to win and be right is so great that you are willing to let them say and do not only just lie, but say and do some of the most batshit crazy things and then defend them on it. And be like, oh, they're just joking. This is just a joke. Come on, grow up.
Mike, you have any scotch at home or something to take the edge off?
Yes, I have plenty. Probably won't have any of it, but I do have plenty. I'm more of a fan of the Irish, not the Scotch. It's too smoky for me. Thank you, Patty.
What the Democrats are after, since you asked, Mr. Walsh, what the Democrats are after is literally keeping the ACA subsidies, which is generically called Obamacare, keeping the subsidies exactly as they are today. No cuts to them, no changes to them. Keep it the same way it was in 2025, 2024, 2023. Keep it exactly the same. That is the only thing the Democrats are asking.
And again, you can't go by the bill they put forth because we are talking about how negotiations work. There is an expectation on both sides when you're negotiating that you are not going to get everything you want. So what you do is you ask for more. And then when you come to the table, you get less. That's how negotiations work. That's how negotiations have literally worked since I've been alive.
And yes, Zoe, they are supposed to sunset at the end of the year, and they're negotiating to keep them at the same levels they are today.
And do you know why there was a date that they ended, that they sunsetted? Because at the time they were passed, they did not have the Democrats did not have a filibuster-proof majority. So they had to negotiate. Republicans love putting end dates on things.
And I know we've repeated it throughout. Let's not forget the overwhelming, by 3-1, majority of these subsidies go to the red states. So your red state representatives are trying to cut your own throats.
And Tosh, you're right. I think for a lot of people, the files are the least things on their mind, except for the fact that the files are the reason that that Mike Johnson is keeping it closed. If it weren't for that, there would be literally no reason for him to not swear in the congresswoman who won her election in Arizona. That is literally the only reason. That's the only possible reason. Nothing else would change. Nothing else would change by him swearing her in, except for the fact that it would push a vote. Because there is a whatever it's called to get past, to force a vote on it. How much is our, do you mean our deficit or our debt? So those are two different things. Deficit is how much more we have or less we have spent this year than money we've brought in. Debt is national, like, credit card.
Well, the size of the deficit for fiscal 2025 was $1.5 trillion. The overall size of the deficit as of right about now is $38 trillion.
The debt is $38 trillion.
Yes, correct. I'm sorry. The debt is $38 trillion. The deficit for fiscal year 2025 clocked in at $1.5 trillion.
And this is the guy who is supposedly going to end the deficit, the debt, get rid of the debt. You understand that when he ran his first term, he said he was going to get rid of it, and he added 8.8 trillion to it. And currently, he has added $1 trillion to the national debt faster than any other time in history, except during the pandemic, during a national emergency.
By the way, the debt equals about $111,000 for every man, woman, and child in America. Now that's comforting.
For those of you that think that we are getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, we're not. It's just changed hands. Assuming there was, again, some things like waste, especially, and abuse, those are subjective terms. Arguably, those are subjective terms.
Well, Mike, you had the expert on here, and he pegged waste, fraud, and abuse at about 0.25 of the Medicaid budget. And they are cutting $1 trillion from Medicaid. not the 25 billion that is waste, fraud, and abuse. And also, who is the responsible party for finding waste, fraud, and abuse, not just in Medicaid, but in the Department of Defense, the Department of Commerce, everywhere else? They are called the Inspector Generals. And Donald Trump fired the Inspector Generals. He fired the very people whose sole job is to ferret out waste, fraud, and abuse. So I have a question for the MAGAs in chat. How does that make any sense?
And D Cook, for saying that it's a fake emergency, then answer me why the Republicans who controlled the House, the Senate, and the presidency are the reason that we have a COVID vaccine, sent relief funds to all Americans. They all voted for it. It's a big club. It's not the same. Are there some that are the same? Sure. That's like saying that literally everyone who is a Republican is bad. There are going to be some good ones. To try and say that they're all the same, watch George Carlin. I've watched George Carlin. George Carlin is not the answer for everything. Big club and we ain't in it. Well, yeah, we're not in it. We know that. So
Momager, I know this won't make you feel any better, but there are tens of millions of Americans now in the same boat as you. And I know that doesn't help. I feel for you.
just for anyone new that came in, just so you know, if you're over here, please tap that nose. It helps push it out to other people. Also share it and join the team. All those help TikTok pushes out to other people. Also know that I am live here and on the tube at the same time. I'm trying to grow over there because we don't know how long this one's going to be around, especially with who is going to be kind of overseeing. So we're trying to grow over there. And if you talk over there, you don't have to worry about stuff getting filtered, which is also nice. Texas early voting numbers for 2025 are slightly down from the 2024 numbers so far. I mean, that's not surprising, unfortunately, Aaron, considering how much the legislature in Texas is doing to make it harder to vote.
Well, you also have to remember, Aaron, that 2024 was a general election. That was the numbers are always higher for a general election than they are for an off-year election.
That's also true. By the way, hi, Philip.
Yeah, Mike, I've been trying to get numbers on the early voting in New Jersey to see how robust it is compared to 2021, the last time they had a race for governor. And it's only been 2 days of early voting, and I can't get any hard data.
Why aren't you outraged about price gouging? I am. I'm furious. And I have called on my senators and congressmen to do something about it. The ACA isn't the problem. The ACA is the only reason that millions of people have health insurance. And making it more expensive isn't going to fix that problem. We should be voting for and calling on our representatives to do something about it. Not take away people's health insurance. Why is it getting more expensive? Lots of reasons. Health insurance is all about profit. They're middlemen. They take money to get their to make money for their stockholders and decide what we can get paid or what what gets covered and what doesn't. The cost of running a hospital and being a doctor has gone up, and they have to forward those costs on. The cost of supplies has gone up. The cost of everything has gone up. It's this spiral that we're just sitting in. One thing goes up, then the other thing goes up, then the other thing goes up, and it just keeps going like this. And until we actually do something about it, it's just going to keep happening. Non-insured have yes, push the prices up for anyone. Yes. Correct. The uninsured push up prices for everyone. And there will be a lot more uninsured people in this country if the ACA subsidies are not extended.
Yeah, according to, again, the Kaiser Foundation, about 3 to 4 million people right off Jump Street will not even bother to renew. So they will lose coverage. And folks, let's not forget the big kahuna is coming up next year, which is Medicaid and SNAP benefits being cut. Medicaid, over 30% of the entire populations of the red states are on Medicaid. The entire populations. And those cuts kick in next December, a year from this December. That's going to be horrific, as the cuts to the SNAP benefits kick in at the same time. So this is just a taste of what we've got coming, heading towards us.
They shouldn't have passed them. Simple Dreamer, do you understand how our government works? When those subsidies were passed in 2021, did the Democrats have a filibuster-proof majority in the Senate? I'll give you a second to check on that. Oh, you're in Ohio, Mike McAvoy? That is rough. I'm in North Carolina, too. It's going to be really rough for North Carolina. Right. The answer is no. I know they probably won't answer, but the answer is no. So, the filibuster, the reason the filibuster's in place, the reason the Republicans won't get rid of the filibuster in terms of budgeting is because the filibuster allows the minority to have some negotiating power. So when the Republicans are in the minority, it gives them some negotiating powers. And when the Democrats are in the minority, it gives them some negotiating power. So, in order for the Democrats to pass, they had to negotiate with the minority. And Republicans love end dates on things. They love it. It's the best thing ever for them. Hence why we've got a friggin' 2-year-long, no tax on tips, which isn't no tax on tips, and no tax on overtime, which isn't no tax on overtime. Filibuster would be better at 55 instead of 60. Better is a relative term. Would it give the minority less voting power, which potentially would get more things passed? Yes. And in this current environment, might that seem better? Yeah, I can understand why it would seem better. I'm not sure I agree. Thanks for admitting they're holding us all. I didn't admit they're holding us all hostage. I'm admitting that all I'm admitting is that we have a filibuster.
To answer the question in chat, why are the red states redrawing districts? It is highly unusual. In fact, has only happened 3 times in our history that districts have been redrawn mid-decade. Normally, districts, of course, are constitutionally redrawn at the end of the decade after the results of the Senate census come in. They are doing it for a very simple reason. They know they face headwinds in the midterms, and they're trying to steal some seats.
Why is California doing it? They wrote it in the bill that they put forth.
California is doing it as a result of Texas doing it, and California has said this is a temporary measure, and they will go back to independent redistricting in the year 2030.
California has 83% of reps. You mean Republicans? Texas did not have a court order to do it. Literally did not.
The Texas legislature did it. They were not under a court order to do so. And somebody in chat pointed out that Democratic states have done gerrymandering as well, and that is correct.
I know how to read Simple Dreamer. Obviously, you don't. Both parties need to have equal say. Again, that's not how democracy works. You didn't know about what happened in Texas. I know exactly what happened in Texas. You obviously don't know what happened in Texas.
Hello, everyone.
Hey. How you doing, Shug?
I am doing well. Doing well. How about yourself, man?
Good. You know, as good as it ever is.
Can be, yeah.
Huh?
That's right. I was going to be just be an active participant, but Vonda said no.
Well, Vonda always pushes people to go up. That's what she does. I mean, I'm
Oh,
only
yeah.
on for 12 more minutes, so.
Right. I can make it. I can survive.
Want me to do the commercial first?
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, folks, unless you got something you wanna pop in here, Papa, or do you want me to do the commercial?
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Okay. Well, folks, as always, this has been a far-reaching and very informative and interesting in some ways discussion today, and that's due to your host, Mike. And if you look in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, you're going to see his name, but that's not what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on that little orange heart right next to him, and please give that a tap. And we all know what happens next. A big giant box is going to drop down on your screen. Now, on the right-hand side of that box will be 6 small rectangular boxes. Please tap on the ones that are shaded black. The ones that are blank, you don't have to do a thing about. But the ones that are shaded black, please tap on those, because that way your host, Mike, gets points. And I know what you're thinking. If I'm going to put in 5 seconds of my hard-earned day doing something for Mike, what's in it for me? Well, guess what? There is something in it for you. You get the same amount of points that Mike gets. Now, that's the world's ultimate win-win, folks. And while we're at it, we've talked a lot about checking out YouTube, the tube of you. Please do that, folks. And there's really 2 reasons for it. First and foremost, it benefits you. Mike has nice long-form content and now short-form content over there. He interviews very interesting guests. They are informed, they are intriguing, they know a lot about the subject matter of which they're speaking, as does your host, Mike. So it's a really good way to spend an hour having your morning coffee or right before you go to bed or anytime you find an hour and you want to just sit down and listen to something interesting. It's really fun. I think you'll enjoy it. And if you haven't tried it out, just try one of them. You will come back for more. And there's a second reason, which we've touched upon. We have to be honest, folks. We don't know what the future of TikTok is. It appears that this Thursday, the final deal will be signed by President Xi and President Trump when they meet in the Far East.
I'll
And
believe it when I see it.
yeah, right. But we don't know what that means. What we do know is that the way things stand now, the new board of TikTok is rather far right, and we don't know. We can't predict what that'll mean for us, but we have to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And what that means, folks, is get used to YouTube, get used to going over there, get used to interacting with it. There's a lot of pluses to it. When you leave comments, they won't be filtered like they are here. So there's a lot of pluses to it. Just get in the habit of popping over there every now and again. Because, again, not only for the content, that's the first reason you should go over there. But the second reason is we can't predict where TikTok will be a week, a month, 2 months from now. And we have to be realistic about the possibilities.
Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome.
But yeah, it's just again, so everyone knows, I love doing this, and the goal of this podcast is to teach people to have real discussions again, hard discussions where people disagree, and learn how to find ways to work through that. That is a large part of it. Obviously, we talk about the news that's going on. We talk about issues that we see, because that's the world we also live in right now. So that's necessary. Because like it or not, politics are a part of everyday life. That's literally, that is, as much as we would like to all put our heads in the sand and, just live our own world, we can't. We just can't. It sucks, I would love to spend my entire day talking about anything. Like I've said this many times, the day I don't have to make a political, make political content literally every day just because of how much crazy stuff is going on, I'll have a party. I'll have another party. Be like, I woke up this morning and I did not feel the need to make a political content about it, and we'll have a party over that. But I can't do it unless I can keep paying my bills. And this app, TikTok, has not done a very good job of helping make it possible for content creators that aren't willing to be rage baiters get a lot of visibility. The algorithm does not work well unless you're rage baiting. So it's really incumbent on you guys in the community that like what we're doing to help share the content with friends and people. Yeah. Like I work hard and I make content that you guys I hope like. And, if there's people that you think that I should interview, let me know. I'm down to talk to anyone as long as we agree on the fundamentals. Let's do an Oktoberfest party. Hey, Hey. What's up, Dr. Derg? Hey, Carla.
And I'll just jump in behind Mike here and just say that, hey, maybe, just maybe, there's some of you out there who are like me, where you're like, well, I don't quite know where to start, or you know what, I've not been involved up until this point. And hello, hi, meet me, Papa Shook, raise a hand. This is an excellent place to be informed, and not just be informed, but be informed. Like I said, one thing that I like about Mike and love about Mike, love about Scott, love about the people that he brings up here is that they are the same all the way around. Yeah, totally fine. They, like I said, Mike is progressive. That's totally fine. You can have whatever letter next to your name you want. Just have integrity behind whatever it is that you're doing. It doesn't matter whoever is up there. If they're doing something foul, call them out or don't support them. It's that simple. And that's exactly what I plan to do. Like, I'm getting involved. I'm learning about the people, the folks who are in my area. And yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, it might not always be the person with this letter or that letter next to their name. I will vote for who I believe is going to do the best job. That's exactly going to be it. I have ways that I think I'm aligned with more than the other on certain stuff, but like I said, you keep the integrity. If you're going to say have empathy, empathy doesn't mean just have it when it's people that you like and agree with.
Oh,
And you can put it's any characteristic or trait. It's not just, hey, be willing to have a hard discussion when it's a person that you agree with. I don't know what that was.
that was Clara's phone
Oh,
vibrating.
okay. Okay, cool. Okay, all right. I was making sure I didn't do something. But that's the thing. Thank you, Chrissy. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Same thing with love, right? Love doesn't mean love them only when they agree with you or people who you are likable. And again, love is tough. Love is there for a reason. You have to sometimes you have to love people with that accountability and say, hey, I love you enough to care about you to hope that you can turn yourself around and do better, be a better individual. And I do agree with Mike. Like, and this current administration, as it did the first time, is what made me go, all right, all right, I must know what's going on around me because it is that dire. Think about it? When's the last time, okay, you saw people getting pulled out of buildings? When's the last time you saw all of the changing of laws? When's the last time you saw all of the, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about all these extreme situations that are happening. This is definitely not stay quiet time. It is that serious. It is that important. And if you're not careful, this will run over you like a truck. And the same stuff will start happening in mass.
Hi, Claire.
Not sit on the fence, friends. Hey, Claire.
Hey, guys, long time no talk online. Um, I know you're about to go, but I just wanted to really Papa, first of all, you're absolutely right. Love doesn't mean always agreeing. Love means having hard conversations and listening to each other. Um, and seeing each other's point of view and um, giving you something to think about. Um, the second thing, the main reason I was coming up is I really wanted to plug YouTube because one of the reasons I have been over there um, probably exclusively for like the last 2 weeks. And one of the things that we talk about is what's going on this live. There's a great group of people. We have some more in-depth conversations because um,
Use real
we
words.
have more characters to be able to say things. We can talk like adults. And sometimes we even have a little fun. So today's game was when Mike would read a comment and respond. We were, deciding what the educational level of the question was. Because sometimes people are asking such low grade, um, I can't talk, but seems uneducated questions. I think you're up to 1,062 of It's Not a Clean CR today. I just want to let you know. But consider coming over to YouTube because we do have a lot of interesting conversations about what's going on. We give each other advice about different things. I mean, we talked about scratch cooking today too. So yeah, Vonda, grunt level. But um, it's just a great group of people to really have good conversations with and a little bit more in depth with what Mike is talking about over here. So I just wanted to plug it, Mike. So
I appreciate that.
um, yeah, because a lot of people don't know what's really going on over there. So, anyways, that's why I wanted to come up. I know it's your time to go. So, but it was really good to talk to you, brother.
Yeah.
Um,
That's one of the reasons I brought you up. I'm like, Claire hasn't requested to come up in a while. Gotta bring her up.
yeah, thank you.
Of course.
So, anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about. So,
Thank you.
you bet.
So yeah, we're at head out time. So again, if you aren't following over there, also know that tomorrow we will be releasing a new episode. This will be an interview with a young lady who is running for legislature in the state of Iowa. She's yeah. And that's one of the things we do out there. There's a lot of states that we don't know a lot about, and it was really cool not just to talk to someone who is a young person who's running for office, but to learn a little bit about what it's like in Iowa. I've never been to Iowa. I know what people tell me. So if you're not following over there, if you're not subscribed over there, please. Life must be really hard for you. Okay, goodbye. But yeah, so if you're not following over there, please follow, and it will be live. It'll be live tomorrow, and yeah, and watch all the other stuff. Help see, like I said, help see if you can help watch and share the content that I post over there. That way we can party. Because again, we'll party. If we can get it done by my birthday, then we'll have like a super celebration. But I'm sorry, Robert. I appreciate you being here and asking the questions and listening. Sorry I couldn't bring you up. I don't bring up people that I don't know. It's nothing against you. It's unfortunately a decision that we had to make based on some bad choices and people that were brought up. But anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. You guys are amazing just the way you are. And I love y'all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile. Do something that makes you happy. Bye, guys. All right, YouTube. Have a great rest of your day. See you tomorrow.